Welcome, everybody, to episode number 47 of Reezy Talks. Today, I have a young hustler by the name of Zach Rosas. How you doing, Zach?
Going on, everybody?
Is it Zach Rosas or is it
Bro,
Rosas? Am I saying it like a white boy?
it's from Mexico, but like I'm not like super into my roots, but so either or. I prefer Rosas, but
Zach Rosas.
yeah, some people roll the R.
So, if you guys don't know, Zach, you're mostly active on Instagram, yeah? I just found out you had a Facebook page because I tagged you in my Facebook post.
Okay, yeah, primarily Instagram.
Do you
I
have a YouTube or no?
Yeah, I do. So a little bit of YouTube. I've been like on and off, but I've been uploading occasionally since like last June.
Okay, so I'll put that information in the show notes after we get done. So below in the description, I have Zach's Instagram. If you guys want to go follow him, I recommend it. Like I said, he's really young. He's 22 years old, and he's super smart. So it's really inspiring for me as an old dude because I'm old AF. Hopefully you know what AF stands for, or you're actually old. But just to see him and see how fast he moves and how he learns new stuff and how he picks up on stuff. And also, one of the first things that I really noticed was Zach, which when I started following him on Instagram, which I believe I probably saw a shout out from the Posh Hanger or something. I'm not 100%, but I was like, dude, I like this guy because he's funny. He doesn't take life like too serious as far as like some people are just like all business and that's it. Like you can't get them to smile, and he just tells it like it is, right? So he'll be like, "Hey guys, I'm doing this, and I'm not sure if you're supposed to do it like this or not, but this is how I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna see what happens," you know. And I like that because a lot of people are super duper straightforward about stuff, and they're not being authentic, you know. So I appreciate that about you, Zach.
100%. Always keeping it real forever.
So you're full time reseller, yeah?
Right now, yeah. So reselling mostly online arbitrage, and well, I've been getting into private label the last couple months, and it's been starting to pick up. So that's kind of where I'm headed right now.
How long have you been full time reselling for?
Um, Honestly, it's been a while. So I actually started flipping sneakers like 3 or 4 years back, completely just not on Amazon or eBay. Mostly just locally and on Facebook. But I've been doing the Amazon thing for about a year and a half now.
And eBay too, right?
Yeah, eBay. I used to sell on eBay a little bit more, but I actually just restarted my eBay account. I don't really sell a whole lot of things on eBay.
Right. And is there any reason why you prefer to sell Amazon over eBay?
One, the FBA not having to handle orders, but two is just like a lot of the products is just they sell for higher prices on Amazon. Plus, a lot of the stuff I'm buying is off of eBay. Um,
Right. Yeah, so if you guys follow Zach, you already know this, and I was gonna say it earlier, but I forgot. If you're not on Instagram, I urge you to get on Instagram. It's the hottest social platform right now, and especially in our niche, reselling. I know that most of the action is on Instagram. So I know the business communities are large on Facebook. The Facebook groups are large, but there's really a disconnect with people on Facebook. It doesn't feel very intimate to me, anyways. But on Instagram, it feels really close. Like I don't know what it is about. If it's just more fleeting, like you just post stuff and you don't care as much about it, or whatever it is. But I can tell you that like the people that I follow and engage with on Instagram, we feel like we're really close, like we're friends. And
there's more
Facebook is more like fake. I can't really explain it. What do you think, Zach?
there's more of like a community on Instagram. Like there's always people chiming in and sharing ideas and whatnot. Because we're all trying to grow. That's like the beauty of it. It's not
Yeah.
like one person is just kind of doing their thing and everybody's looking up to them. It's like we're all trying to help each other out.
Right. So maybe that's what it is because it's like we're not in a group, you know, everyone's on their own thing, but like you have to go into someone else's world to like engage with them.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like everybody has their own, if it was Facebook, everybody had their own Facebook group.
Mhm.
and then you're, I don't know, I can't explain it, but that's like part of the reason why Instagram is much more engaging and the community is much tighter. Um, and I don't know, I feel like even though on Facebook they make you have like your real name and everything, I just feel like people care about their Instagrams more than they care about their Facebook. So they're nicer. They're, I don't know, it's just overall way more pleasant, right?
Yeah, no, definitely it is.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think there's a lot less promoting on Instagram too because there's less links also.
Yeah, you
Um,
can't the captions.
yeah. I mean, aside from dealing with it when they change the algorithm or whatever, it's all right. I'm not too keen on the having the old recommended profiles showing up now in your feed. It is what it is, though. You got to deal with it. Can't fight it.
Yeah.
Um, But if you do go on Instagram and you do follow Zach, you know that one of the things that he does a lot of is eBay to Amazon flips. So what that means is he'll buy something on, I don't know why I like doing this with my hand, but he'll buy something on eBay for a lower price than it is on Amazon, and then he'll flip it on Amazon and make money. So sourcing off of eBay, and some of these stuff are replenishable items that he knows he can go and search for again and again and continually find them. And I don't know if you know this or not, Zach, but obviously, a while back you shared. I think you've done it several times. You're like, screw it, I'm going to share some of my products. And I know at least one time I saw you like, I was like, dang, Zach went off the deep end. He showed like 20 products. And just when I was thinking that, then the next clip was like, you're like, and let me tell you why I shared that. And he's like, for one, I know most of you guys aren't going to do anything. And for two, you're like, I really don't care because if eBay to Amazon is like the height of my entrepreneurial journey, you're
Mhm.
like, I might as well just quit right now because you just
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
you have bigger plans than that, right?
Yeah, I'm using the resale game. I love where I'm at right now, but I'm using it more so as a vehicle to build other like businesses in the future.
Right. But get this, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a member of a bunch of little like private like groups, little masterminds or whatever outside of Instagram. Some of them are in Telegram, some of them are on Facebook, and some of them are paid, some of them are free, whatever. And circulating in one of them one day was like, it's Zach Rosa's products sheet. Like someone had screenshotted your Instagram and then like saved it, and it's like getting passed around in groups.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's the
Oh,
homies thing.
yeah.
They're like, don't share this outside of the group. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? This was shared on Instagram, Zach's
Yeah, I
Instagram.
literally posted the entire screenshot of one of my old spreadsheets into my story, and I mean, some people took advantage of it, and then I had like 2 weeks later that some people were like, "Hey, can you repost it?" And I was like, "I mean, you slept on it. Sorry."
Yeah, dude, you should have turned notifications on. You're
Yeah.
slipping. Yeah, so that's actually pretty cool. A lot of people don't understand that or don't really think about it, but eBay is it's not like Amazon where on Amazon a product has one page and everything's on the page and it's like really cohesive. It's why they're winning in my opinion with the customer because it's a much better shopping experience.
Mhm.
But the opposite side of that, the shopping experience is like more dismantled on eBay and you can go there and you can find, people that labeled stuff wrong. So you can like search for something and then put like minus some certain word and then try and find the same product without using those same words or whatever. And now you're finding those products that like other people aren't like seeing as much, and then those are opportunities to nab them up and profit. Um, let's talk about some of the stuff, some of the private label that you've been getting into. How's your experience with that?
So, it's been like up and down, right? So I've had one of my products back in September took off, and then I ran out of inventory. My ranking got killed because I didn't get more inventory in for like another 5 weeks. So that was kind of like just a huge learning experience to not run out of inventory. I've had actually I had one product recently. Actually, I made a YouTube video about this. I shared the product itself.
This the stretchable container lids or something?
No, that was more of a generic thing that I was selling. I sold that on I don't think I was technically supposed to. Like again, I'm just trying stuff out, but I sold it as a generic item under someone else's listing. But no, this was they're posture braces. You wear them and they just help you sit more like upright.
Yeah,
But
they're like uncomfortable when you're not sitting upright or something.
yeah, so this is actually probably one of my best private label products. My buy cost is around $5. I'm selling it for like 30, between like 29, and I was playing around with it at like 32. And I was selling for the 2 weeks prior to moving to Texas. I was selling between like 10 to upwards of. I had one day where I sold 18 of them. So this was going really well. I placed the reorder so that I wouldn't run out of inventory. And then I just found out that the supplier put the wrong address on the
Oh
thing.
no.
So, yeah, so she put 5207 instead of 5208. I was supposed to get it last Monday. I still don't have it. I'm all out of inventory and my rank is dropping again. Um, it's just like private label is so much of personally, I think it's so much of a hands-on thing. It's either like you have to do it to learn it. You can't just like
Right.
watch a bunch of videos. I mean, you can learn a couple things, but until you actually just jump into it, I don't really think you can really get an understanding what it like is really about.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can learn from videos. I think what I learn most from videos personally is that once I get to trust someone, like and know someone, so like I know, or at least I feel like I know you and trust you, and then you're, for example, talking about merch by Amazon, which I didn't really take too seriously at first, but then when my boy RJ started making videos and talking about his success, like I trust him, I know him, and I know he wouldn't, just make some crap to sell whatever other courses or whatever. And so then I was like, okay, it's real now. And then once I know it's real because I trust the person who's telling me it, versus just an internet marketer, then I can go at it. And then once I actually go at it, then I start learning. But like
Yeah,
learning, little things from videos, like I'm more likely to like go back and like check on the little tidbits here or there, but I don't really learn or absorb information until I'm losing money.
yeah, no, dude, 100%, 100%. Like, there's so many things that I've learned. The first private label bundle, I was selling a 4-piece little kit thing. Um, it was selling well. The second time when I reordered it, I thought I could cut costs a little bit and order the 2-piece kit. What happened was that the market, like all the other sellers for the 2-piece thing, they're all the same, really, all dropped in price.
Mm,
So I was stuck thinking I could still sell my product at like $14.99 when all the other sellers had already dropped their price to like $7.
dang, they were just clearing it out at that point.
Yeah. So it's like I was I was right initially, but on the reorder, I just did something that I shouldn't have done. I should have stuck with the same product.
Yeah.
Instead of cut like I was probably only saving like 75 cents on every like little unit, but that ended up like killing my listing.
And how are you doing your private label research? Are you using Jungle Scout or something else?
Yeah, no, I use Jungle Scout primarily. I do like if I do know a product is private labeled, like it looks like it's kind of hot, you can click into a seller's. I actually have a separate tab on my Google Chrome thing that has a bunch of Amazon sellers who I think are private labeling, and I can just kind of spy on their other listings.
Nice. That's actually a good strategy, and I've heard that from a couple other people. One of my students or whatever quasi students, someone who he's a younger dude, he's like 16, and I've given him a lot of special attention. And I just always favor the younger kids a lot when they hit you up. I'm like, oh, you're hustling. I'm gonna hit you up hard. And he started doing private label. He's all and Shopify, like he's killing it. And he's only 16. He's like a freshman in high school, and or a sophomore maybe. But that was one of the ways he was telling me that he was discovering products is he would go and look for one product and he would say like look for like he'd maybe start like on Alibaba or DHgate with like really like the popular products. And then he
Mhm.
would go find a seller of that product that, has a good selling, good reviews. Like, and he wouldn't care if the niche was saturated because really all he wanted to do was look at all the storefronts of all the sellers who were selling that product. So it's like
Yeah.
using a certain popular private label product as a gateway to look into someone's store and see how they're thinking or what other kind of products they're trying to use, and then going with those. One
Mhm.
of the things he was doing was he was selling in the generic category on Amazon. Have you ever sold in there?
Yeah, so that was actually kind of the lids, the stretch lids was supposed to be generic. I was selling these credit card knives. They are actually I still have a bunch. They're just they're little knives, or they're little credit card shaped knives that they flip out into knives. Uh,
Plastic, or they have a blade?
yeah, they have a blade. The knife itself is plastic, but there's like an actual blade on it. These they sell in I was selling these for the longest time, and I placed a reorder, and I have a ton that I can't sell anymore because the price has dropped. You could source these for I paid $2.26 for packs of 10. They
So
used to
22
sell
cents each, cheap.
Yeah, they used to sell in packs of 10 for I was selling them between 11 to $13. Now this listing, it's at like $7 right now, so it's really not even worth it. Um, but this is also another like generic item I was selling for a long time.
What are you gonna do with the products that you can't? Is that just stocking stuffers for like the next 5 years, or what?
I have a ton of these, to be honest. I might try to like I know actually some other sellers have created their own listings of credit card knives, even though I don't think it's a good product to private label because there's not enough sales. If you
Right.
look at the scout numbers, like I think the top listing does like $1,500 a month, and they do the most. But they do sell, like some of the other sellers sell them in packs of 2 or 3, which is like the buy cost would only be 60 cents. So there might be room there. I don't know.
Yeah. Might have to find a like a retail store that you can like put them on the counter for like $5
Yeah,
each or something.
or if I donate them to Goodwill, Goodwill will make money off them at least.
Yeah. Then someone can cut their hand on them, finding them in the bins. um. Yeah.
I don't
Jesus.
even know how they work. See, they kind of like they flip out, and it's a credit card, but it flips out into a knife.
Yeah, that would
Super.
come in handy at the barbecue. Um. Yeah, so right before we got on the call, I asked Zach if he wanted to do some live eBay to Amazon flips and see if we could find any products that you could make some money on. And he said he was game for it. You want to try it, Zach?
Now let's do it. So just go over to screen share.
Yeah, press screen share. So get your browsers ready, guys. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you should have tuned in because you're gonna miss out. It's already over by now. Posh Hanger said that her son just ordered one of those knives on Amazon.
What? All right, so everybody can see my.
Yeah, we can see you.
All right, so I have a spreadsheet of products that I routinely like. I could check maybe once a week just to see if there is an item there. That's like one way to do it. I mean, I've shared this product before multiple times, so it's like doesn't even matter. Um, whoops, tapes. Blank media is actually like really good.
So real quick, Zach is on eBay right now, and he just looked up high eight on eBay, and I'm assuming he's gonna go look for some high eight tapes that he can flip from eBay to Amazon. The one thing, Zach, is that when you're showing your screen, if I talk, it shows my screen, so you got to do all the talking.
Okay, so we're good right now. Everybody can see my screen.
Yep.
All right, so there's these sell. I can tell you right now that these sell between 70 to like $80 right now. They actually sold upwards of like $90 a few months ago. But when I see a listing like this, if it's a bid, this is for a pack of 4. I will place a bid at what I think is comfortable, even though the current bid is $1.29. I'm willing to buy this product for $40 all day. So literally, I'll go and just do this for multiple listings. It's nice when there's a or best offer feature that doesn't always appear there. Well, I can't sign in. So we can't place bids, but you get the point. So like something like this, even a 2-pack, I would be willing to buy. If I could find two 2-packs and bundle them, I would definitely spend $20 on this. So hypothetically, I could bid $16 on this, $4 for shipping, and still make a good profit. I'd be flipping it from 40 to roughly around like 65 after fees. All right, so here's one right now. This I would definitely cop, and after after this interview is over, if it's still available, this one right here, literally this listing, I would buy it.
That's a 4-pack, and that will go for what on Amazon? Let's bring up the Amazon listing.
Right now, just open a new tab.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go into Amazon. So it's nice when you start finding more products. What I do is I save them in a spreadsheet just so I remember them. Then I can always it's easy just to check.
Is there any certain way that you go about, like, obviously this is cool because you know these already, but how would you go about just like digging up these products from scratch?
So, okay, so this one I actually found in a Savers back home I bought the 4-pack for like $9.99, and I looked it up. I just happened to look it up on eBay. A couple months
So
later,
you actually scanned the 4-pack, and that's how you realized the value.
I actually bought this. The first time I ever bought this was in a Savers. But there's actually a Sony High 8. All right, so this obviously we're gonna go to filter by new.
Yeah, I think you could see the FBA offers on the right side were like $73.
So yeah, so $73.88 is the lowest price right now. This was actually at like $99 a couple months ago. It's been as low as 49, so it like fluctuates. You see some people still have theirs at like 93. But
Right,
even
so they're not getting the buy box because the difference is so high over the used or the new merchant versus the FBA price, right?
actually
Was that 20 what is that $29.39 price?
Yeah, that it's a new one. It's not an FBA offer. I can check. Actually, let me check it right now on
So
the
you
Amazon.
could actually just buy that right there, the $29.39 right off of Amazon.
Yeah, honestly, you could literally flip that. Like, I have no clue why that dude has it priced at $29. Even the 41. Honestly, even the 41, I would feel very comfortable buying that right now.
Yeah, especially when you have existing history of this product.
Yeah, like this sells. I mean, I think it's ranked number 6 in camera.
Damn.
It's gonna sell.
Yeah.
So I just checked the Amazon seller app. It's $59.81 after fees. So on that one you can make more. This one you're only making $19, but it's a guaranteed sale.
So if, for example, if that guy who has the $29.39, if you add that to cart right now and he has 10 of them, that's going to cost you $300, but you're going to make, what are you going to make? The payout is 51 after the sale of the current price at 72, or is that after?
The payout it's 59 after fees.
Okay, from the 72.39 price, the current price.
Yeah, it's 73.88.
Yeah, so you're still gonna pay out a profit of $20 approximately. So you could spend $300 and make $200 profit right now if you went and bought up those offers on Amazon, assuming that they actually ship them to you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna assume that person is a seller that has some type of automated pricing going on, and that they price matched and undercut that $40 offer.
Yeah, it's possible. Even the $40 offer, I have no clue why he priced it at that.
That's insane. So yeah, if you guys don't know, that's a great way to find products is when you're doing product research yourself, or when you have products, like you're basically sourcing inventory from your own previous things that you've bought and sold before, right? So
Mhm.
If it's, I mean, it's a lot easier than just like raw digging around to try and find stuff, which you can also do, but like pay attention to the stuff that, I don't do a ton of it, but for example, I know about this video game controller. It's actually for an arcade game, and I've seen them go for like $400 before, $300, and randomly sometimes someone will have it for like 100 and something. And so I have a saved eBay search for this, and then you get emails, and then you go and look at it. It is what it is, and then you buy it, and then you just basically relist it on eBay for 2 to 3 times the price after it shows up.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, you could do this. There's like an endless amount of products that you could do this with. Like, we could do this all day. Is it still showing my screen?
Yep.
So, I mean, this is a product that I tested out recently. I never bought it before, and it sold. It sold within a couple weeks. There's hot. So this one we're looking at just like some old Sony, like I don't even know, like a radio or some shit. But
That
79
that
bucks.
thing.
This thing right here, yeah, $79.
Okay.
I bought one about a month ago for about $50 on eBay.
Why
Just I
does it
said,
look like a UFO? Does it have like some random antenna?
yeah, there is an antenna on it. I honestly have no clue why somebody would buy something like this.
I think I'm gonna throw to guess in the dark is that dancers like it. Like when you're, because I always, they're like specific. You got to have a good boombox if you're a dancer, and it needs
Yeah,
to be
like okay,
battery powered.
like breakdancers, street performing. Yeah, definitely, probably would buy something like this. But so this is a product. So like the Sony Hi8 tapes. I mean, I could go. I just showed you. I went on eBay. I could find like 5 listings that I could probably make money on. Something like this, I mean, there might not be a listing every time you check it. So actually, I checked this one earlier today, like an hour ago, actually, and I see it for $79 on Amazon. If we just let me just copy the model number.
CFDS 350.
The price actually dropped a little bit on this when I sold it. Mine sold for like 160 something, but you can see right here the used offers start at 135. It's $80
Yeah, and those
on
are probably not FBA, I would imagine, right?
let's check.
Did you sell yours FBA?
Yes, I did. So yeah, these but like you could see like something like this doesn't have a whole lot of sellers on it. There's only I mean there's 4
One
sellers.
FBA.
Mine sold at 168. So you could potentially price yours around like 160, 170 bucks and just wait for this dude to sell out.
Did yours come with the remote control?
No, didn't. I sold it without the remote.
So how did you find this? Were you just digging around in Sony products?
Yeah, so like sometimes if I find something like this, I think I found this by just searching Sony radio, just something super generic, and then it's really just about going through like every single thing and looking it up. It's not
Right. So
necessarily
it takes you a while.
yeah, so I mean I might have looked up like 6 things that were $13 on eBay that sell for 15 on Amazon, so it's not worth it. But then you find one product like this, I'll save it in my spreadsheet. It was my first time buying it, so I tested it out just to see if it will sell. I bought one of them. It sold. I think I paid like between like 50 and 60 bucks. Sold for 150, 160, and now I keep it in my spreadsheet and I'll check it periodically.
Into the spreadsheet it goes. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So if you guys are watching this, you're potentially making some money right now, especially off that first one, off those Hi8 flips. I don't want to get off this show and see that seller on Amazon still in stock with those Hi8 tapes. Guys, don't make me buy them.
I
Zach
know.
can be like, our show's over. Peace out, bro. Click, 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 click. We're trying to buy it. We did this same thing on another show. We had the creator of the eFlip book arbitrage software, which is for a similar thing for buying from merchant fulfilled sellers and then selling back on Amazon as FBA. So it just basically helps you, it expedites the process of seeing the difference in prices on those two things. because as you know, the Amazon is made for shopping, not necessarily for us. It doesn't have all the stuff that we might need to make these searches or whatever. And it was the same thing. So he like found a bunch of books, and it was like we were looking at them, and then he kept bringing it up like throughout the interview, and was like, "Oh, there's still a couple copies, guys. You're slipping."
Yeah, there's blank media, especially all different brands. It's just like literally just go type in a different brand, JVC VHS tapes, and just go look through all of them to see if they even sell on Amazon for one, and two, if there's a price difference.
Right. If you don't know about blank media or media in general, so I know, obviously, I know about media, but I didn't really realize that used media, certain brands, is even worth money. So some tapes, cassette tapes, VHS tapes, they're higher end than like the most common one. I don't know if it's because the magnetic tape is thicker or it has more fidelity somehow. As I think they have more metal on the magnetic tape or something. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they cost more brand new, and they sell for more used. So like your average VHS tape or mini DV or high 8 tape used is going to go for like $1, 150 each used, like a box full of them, throw them all in a box, 100 of them, $100 bill. But the high end ones could go for as much as like $4 or $5 a piece, used even. People are just going to record over them.
Wasn't aware of that. I think I might be restricted from selling used. I might be only able to sell them new. But I
Yeah.
mean,
It's the
so many.
weirdest thing. I don't know. Like, I wish we all knew like what was the rhyme and reason to the Amazon restrictions, because like people always ask me, they're like, "Well, how do I sell this and how do I sell that?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, you can request to be approved to sell this or whatever." And like Nike is like the one that everyone always wants or whatever, because it's like everyone thinks that that's like the dream product or whatever. But the answer is, well, you have to sell on Amazon for like 6 to 12 months, and then after that period, you might get approved to sell it. Some people do, some people don't. I know people that are, they're doing, 5 million a year in gross sales in Nike, but they can't sell, Vans, Converse, Asics. They can't sell all these other shoe brands. But there's people who can't sell Nike that can sell those shoe brands, and they've only been selling for 3 months, or there's people that have only been selling for 6 months that can sell everything. It's like it's all an algorithm. So you just you're playing part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one thing I can't sell is Nike.
Yeah, but I see some Nikes behind you. What's going on with those?
So that was kind of part of my little eBay experiment. I'm gonna see if I can sell my eBay instead.
Nice. Well, I know you can. In the chat right now, we got the Hustlebee Ken, and he did a show with me, and that's his whole business model. He's in the chat right now. He said, "There's no money in Nike. Don't believe the hype." I don't know why, but I don't believe him. um.
Then.
So what's up with Edicted? I see you wearing the Edicted hat, and you have the Edicted water bottle.
Yeah, so it's actually just a little sticker, but
Fooled me, bro.
It's a brand I want to build. It's
So
not
what is the brand? Is it just a clothing company, or what's the deal? I've seen you like rocking it, or I think you have some friends in the motivational or the fitness industry, and you gave them some shirts and stuff.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like an apparel brand. Actually, it was kind of like an idea I thought about in college, my second year of college, when I started to like just kind of question why I was here. And I hated everything. So it's an acronym, if you don't know. Addicted, EDICTD, is every day I chase the dream.
Oh, I did not know. That's cool.
Okay, yeah, so that's what it stands for. And really the reason is like there's kind of like two parts to it. One of it is like I want to give like people the permission to kind of take that leap of faith and go after what they really want to do in life. Because there was a point when I was in college where I thought I had to have my degree to make it. All my family said you need to have this. I was doing finance. I hated every single second of it. Like literally, like I just got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. And I'm sitting there in the library like, yo, I have to do something different. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my family thinks. It doesn't matter what my friends think. It doesn't matter. I took a semester off just to try some stuff out. I was like, I have to do something different. So I just knew at that point in my life, I didn't want to work for anybody else. And that's just me personally, right? Because I mean, there's some people who go to college who want to be doctors and stuff like that's their dream. That's fine. But I think too many people let their family, especially, determine like their view of success. You know?
Yeah, no, I feel you on that because even myself with reselling, you know, I thought that was like that was my dream was like be basically I thought that was my dream, just being able to support my family and make a decent living and not working for someone else. And like I'm a high school dropout, right? So I don't have a lot of options. But once I started doing social media, getting back into making videos, which I did a lot when I was a kid because I'm a skateboarder, helping people, talking, you know, like helping people through talking and through making videos. And then like people telling me how I helped them, you know, then I was like, whoa, this is like, what is this feeling? You know, like this is weird. Like I really like this. And I kind of realized that was my passion. And I feel like we went through an era in America where like we pushed people to like to not chase their dream. Basically, like I feel like they used to do that a long time ago, like chase your dream, like do what you want. And then like in my generation, it was like that's a fantasy. Like you need to just do whatever's going to bring the money in, and then like whatever time's left over, then you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
people think it's like there's one cookie cutter formula that you have to follow that, and it's just like it's so bullshit. It's just not everybody needs to go to college to do what they want to do with their life. And I was just like, growing up, I was told that school was everything, that if I didn't get a degree, I wouldn't have a job, I wouldn't be successful. Like that's just what I was taught.
A lot of people.
Yeah, like yeah, almost everybody that goes to school, like it's just that's the way they're taught. But in the world we live in today, there's just so many different things that you could do to make it, you know?
Yeah, and it changes every single day, right? And so you actually might be losing money and you're definitely losing opportunity tying yourself down to, you know, the current educational platform or whatever. So I have a daughter that's actually not much younger than you to make myself feel even older. She's 17 and she's graduating this June. And then I also have a 6-year old. Luna actually just turned 6 yesterday. And obviously like my 17-year-old, she's going to go to college or whatever. But I don't know if college is even going to be a thing like in 12 years when when Luna is 18, you know, because I mean, I already feel like it's not that important, right? Like if
Yeah,
like I feel like chase the enjoying what you're doing is way more important than the money, and there's so much it's so accessible to do what you actually like want to do or whatever right now. It's like infinite opportunities, you know?
uh-huh.
And I feel like college is like even college in like the standard framework to make money and to have security. Like I don't know if that's going to be the best way to have the money and the security in the future. And I know it's already definitely not like the best way to chase what you're passionate about, right? So it's just
100%.
it's just weird. Like I feel like we're gonna all be wearing like, or kids are gonna be wearing like VR headsets, and like teachers are gonna be like basically exact doing like what I'm doing right now. I'm just sit down at your computer, turn on your projectors like, and then you're teaching like 10,000 kids at once wearing like VR headsets, and they're going to like Amazon.edu.
Yeah, no, the whole like the college curriculum itself, nothing in it can really be used in the real world. I don't use anything. I was a business major for two and a half years. I don't use one thing that I've learned.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? So like my business partner went to school for marketing, and he graduated summa cum laude. Like he studied his ass off, like just like aced everything, like did everything, like just crushed it. And as soon as he gets out of college, everything he learned like didn't even apply anymore because like the whole world of marketing is changing so fast, right? And they're not teaching
Only
you.
that, it's just like the semester after I took a leave of absence, or actually during the first semester I took a leave of absence, my intent was to like, why pay for the school? Like, why pay to learn this stuff when I could just go sit in on a lecture and just learn the stuff myself? I don't need to take the test to validate my knowledge, right? So actually, I went to a few marketing lectures. This is like in the year 2016, and the professor, I kid you not, is talking about like different billboard placements and shit.
Wow.
Like, how is that relevant?
It's not relevant. The other day I had an epiphany. I was like, man, I was it's the funniest story ever. Walking down the street, we're just talking and like I'm on my phone, I'm like DMing, like responding to messages, like whatever I was doing, we're walking to go eat dinner and like everybody almost stepped in some dog crap. But I didn't because I was looking down at the sidewalk. Like I was texting, right? And I was like, that was like right in my field of view. And I was like, everybody watch out. Like, and then I was like, had this epiphany. I was like, whoa, we should put billboards on the sidewalk. Like
Yeah,
they should be on the ground. Like that's where everyone's looking. Like they're not looking up to see them. You know what I mean? Like if my head is craned down towards my phone, maybe that's where the advertisement should be, right?
our education system itself is just so outdated. It's just like it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
even
and I was talk like when I was saying I talk to the younger kids, I tell them like so like I'm not like I tell them to like drop out of school or whatever, but I definitely tell them to utilize the alternative learning that's available in the school. It's like, dude, do they have wood shop? Do they have metal shop? Do they have like what kind of stuff do they? Because I can tell you for a fact that the things that you're not going to use outside of school are math, English, and science. You're not going to
Mhm.
use that stuff. Like I'm not saying like be stupid, like, but especially if you're like decently smart, you know, you already pick up on, you know, on a cultural like acceptable level of those things just from like absorbing it from being around people. If you're not going to be like a mathematician or a physicist or like some kind of weird scientist, like you do not need that stuff. And
Yeah.
you're going to learn a hell of a lot more learning how to use tools in wood shop or metal shop or learning how to play an instrument or auto mechanics if you have like vocational access through your high school or whatever. Or
Dude,
yeah, accounting skills if you can learn how to use QuickBooks, you know, or just
yeah.
any of that stuff.
My play on college, if I can go back, I think it's like it's valuable. It's a cool experience, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
cool with like a 1 year or 2 year thing. But I would literally go back and not do any of the schoolwork and just meet everybody, meet every single person in my graduating class or whatever, or like in the whole school. Just try to meet as many people as you can. Join like, I mean, the clubs away from the classroom are nice to meet people. There's still not a whole lot of like, some of them are valuable, some of them are not. But I would literally just meet people and not focus on any of the schoolwork, like literally zero.
Yeah, the networking is huge.
Yeah, it's just it's cool to meet people. Like, I mean, I met the best people in San Diego, and I'm forever thankful for that. But just from the curriculum side of it, I don't use any of it.
Right. Yeah, you got to understand what like the value proposition is. I also tell kids, I'm like, look, you got 4 years in this high school and like even a small high school has like 500 students, like a big high school might have like 5,000 students. So, you have a captive audience of like 500 to 5,000 people every single day. If you want to start a clothing brand, all you have to do is just wear it to school every day and people are going to see it, you know? Like I
Just
like
be
to talk
free.
about have you heard of Moe's Bows? Have you heard that story?
No.
This young black kid, he started wearing bows, like bow ties. He would wear his like church school clothes to school every day, starting in elementary school, I think, and then throughout high school. But he didn't like to wear ties, so he would wear bow ties. And he didn't, you know, he had like one or two sets of church clothes, but like he wanted to wear different bow ties all the time. So his grandma would make them for him and then she taught him how to make them. And then, you know, upperclassmen would, you know, after people stopped making fun of him, upperclassmen like bought some from him or whatever. Then he realized he had like a business, and then he like started selling them, and then they started selling them in like boutique stores around town. And then instead of just him and his grandma making it, you know, they hired their first like seamstress to like make bow ties for them. And then, you know, like blew up, was like on Oprah or Steve Harvey, like all kinds of shit, like kid has like $1 million industry off of bow ties that all started with him making his own bow ties and wearing them to school every day. Yeah, I think he was on Shark Tank too. Someone said in the comments right now.
Yeah. That's. I think I probably saw that episode then.
Yeah, Shark Tank. You gotta love Shark Tank, man. If anything, just to hear the stories and like see the products, right?
Yeah, it's entertaining for sure.
Dude, I actually was kicking myself. I missed an opportunity to meet with Damon John. So I'm like going to bed. I'm in LA. This was like 2 weeks ago, and I get a text from a friend in Philadelphia, and he was like, "Hey, Reezy, do you know Damon John's gonna be in your town tomorrow for his book release?" And I live in a small town. It's like 50,000 people, a surf town. Like people are sleeping over here, right? They're not like on the ball. Like people are like, "Oh, the internet's not for me, guys." Um, and he was doing his book tour for his new book. I think it's called Rise and Grind or something. And he had this deal. He put it out just on his Instagram story. He was like, if you buy 10 copies of my book, which would have been $270, he's like, the first 10 people that buy 10 copies of my book at the bookstore, that I'm going to tomorrow morning in my town, he's like, I'll give you a 20-minute one-on-one. And I was like, dude, this is so sick. But I was like, I was in LA. I would have had to leave at like 4 a.m. to make it home on time and have the family and kids with me and whatnot. And so it didn't work out, but I was like, I couldn't sleep that night because I was laying in bed thinking, like, what would I ask him? Like, like that's nothing, $270 for 20 minutes of his time. And like, I would just give the books out on Instagram anyways. So maybe I could have filmed it too. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like I was even thinking about it. Like I had a backup plan in my head. I was like, maybe my boy could go down there for me, buy the books, and then FaceTime him.
Oh.
and then I could screen record the FaceTime, like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it didn't work out, but it would have been amazing.
That's not bad.
Oh yes, someone in the chat's talking about The Power of Broke. Did you read that book?
I have not. I have not read a book since my freshman year of college.
All right. How about listening to books? You listen to books at all?
I prefer listening to podcasts because there's more of a different vibe to it. Like books, I feel like are just kind of they just drag. Actually,
I especially don't like books when the author doesn't read the book. Right? If it's just some random person reading it, it makes zero sense to me.
100%. I think actually Damon John's book, The Power of Broke, I think he had a narrator reading it, and I got through the first chapter and I was like, eh.
Yeah, it's not like Gary Vee or Grant Cardone. They like read their own books, and then you almost have to buy the book and listen to the book because it's two different pieces of content. They go off the cuff,
Yeah.
There's this really cool resource which you might like or others might like. It's called Blinkist. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's a website and an app where you can basically they hire people that work for them to read books and then to summarize them in 5 minutes or less. So it's not completely free. I think it's free in some capacity, but it's cheap. It's like less than like $100 a year or whatever. Listen to as much as you want, but you can literally listen to you can read 25 books in a day on Blinkist because you listen to these 5-minute summaries of the most important parts of the books, and then you can listen to those on like 2 to 3x. And so like especially if you're in traffic, you can like consume a massive amount of content. But you said go ahead.
I have been getting into more like podcasts.
What are some of your favorite podcasts?
Really, there's two. There's the Ask Gary Vee one, the Andy Frisella's podcast, the MF CEO.
Solid.
There was one podcast episode by it's this lady Jenna. I don't want to mess it up. Jenna something. It was about building a social media influence. That was actually a really good, like really, really good.
What channel was that on?
Channel? What do you mean channel?
I'm now calling podcasts channels.
It was. I mean, I can look it up. Jenna. Man, I have no clue. She's I think she does primarily beauty stuff on Instagram, but like her how to build up a social media influence was
solid.
Really, definitely I still use some of the tips that he gave out. Actually, one of them is my biggest pet peeve of social media, like from my followers, is when people have Instagram pages for their resale business, thrift, or like eBay, Amazon, whatever it is, and they never show who they are. They don't show themselves. It's just like their whole
Yep.
feed is sales and like products they bought. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I could care less about your business. I want to know who you are as a person,
Yep.
you know?
Solid. I actually just talked to someone about this, so I'm not gonna name names or put them on blast, but this person is like a solid seller and they sell really cool stuff. Like they don't sell the same stuff that everybody else sells, right? They sell like older stuff, like weird stuff, like stuff you would never like, oh, I got this ivory carved cigarette holder or something. I'm just making it up, but it's like, yeah, and it sold for 380 and you're like, "What?" Like I wouldn't have paid $2 for that, like let alone known it was ivory. Um and so they were like, "Yeah," and I met this person in person actually, person in person. And they're a cool dude. And he was like, "Reezy, like any tips like I'm frustrated like my Instagram's not growing." And so I looked at their Instagram feed and that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, man, there's no pictures and I actually scrolled for like days till I could find the last time they posted a selfie. And it
Uh-huh.
was a little over a year old. And I
Mhm.
screenshotted it and I sent it back to them. And I was like, dude, the last time you posted a picture of yourself was over a year ago. Like, how do you
Uh-huh.
expect anyone to identify with you or to resonate with you? Like, people like people, like especially when they feel like they can trust you. And in order to do that on the internet, you need to, I'd say, like for one, utilize live, like go live, because you can't be fake on the live broadcast, right?
Yeah.
And also stories too, because generally like you film it yourself, they can see you right there, they can hear you breathing, like it's super legit. And at the very least, post pictures of yourself, right? It's like, I don't, like you said, who cares about this or that? Like, it's it's weird to say like if you're selling stuff, but the reality is you're selling yourself on your Instagram profile. If you want to make connections, like you have to be able to sell like why people should be your friend, like why should someone pay attention to you. And if you're not showing yourself, like they don't even know if you actually are who you say you are.
No, the crazy thing about that is like the pictures that I post of myself, before I post them, I usually always think like this is gonna be stupid, like nobody wants to see this. Those are the posts that always end up being the best,
Yep.
like in terms of like engagement and people actually caring. Before I moved to Texas, I posted like I was just it was me and my U-Haul trailer, my car. It's like, I mean, do people really care about this? Like I thought the picture was kind of lame. I broke my tripod before I took the picture. I leaned it up against the lamppost and put my phone in it to take a picture like that. It was
Mm-hmm.
like the quality wasn't good. It was like nobody's gonna care about this, and it ended up being like one of the most engaged posts I've had.
Right.
Whereas if I post like I know the flips, like my eBay to Amazon flips are helpful, but like they don't develop like a connection with my community.
Yeah, so that just goes to prove the point even further that like look, you're teaching people how to make money, and like it doesn't even hit as hard as, like for my example, it might be like me giving my daughter a hug, or me, like
Yeah.
for example, the post that always hit the hardest for me is like every 1 to 2 months, probably every 2 months, I'll post like I have the same post, I repost like a picture of me holding my daughter when I was 16, like when I had my kid, and then like my whole story. I'm like 16 with like the most like wannabe bum fluff beard ever, and I just like my whole story. It's like it's so long I have to like post it and then post the rest in the first comment or whatever, and it always gets like over 1,000 likes and like a couple hundred comments, and or like I posted once, I did not even know this photo would hit hard at all. It was just a photo of a hotel, and I lived in this hotel for 3 years when I was growing up because we were super poor. I'm not even in the photo, it's just a picture of the hotel. And like I remember I like put like an HDR effect on it to like make it look nice, like make the sky bluer, but it was just like, and it got like over 1,000 likes, and I was like, what in the hell? And it's like I wish I was better at like predicting what would be good, right? but
just
it's not
because,
always the information. It's the stuff that, brings your personality out and makes people, resonate with you more.
yeah, no, 100%. People care about you more than they care about the stuff you're selling, you know?
Yeah. So I follow this dude, Carlos Gil, Carlos Gil, I believe one L, and he's an award-winning Snapchat storyteller. He won the some award. I don't want to discount it or anything, but like Hispanic Snapchatter of the Year or something in 2017 or 2016. Pretty cool guy. And he just spoke at Gary V's event, the Agent 2021 or 2021, I think so is what it was called. And he was talking about realty. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I just caught a piece of it. But he was saying, and he was like, here's my advice to you realtors that want to sell. And he was talking about Instagram specifically. And he was like, look, post less pictures of the houses you're selling. Because, like, here's the average realtor. They're like, okay, I'm going to sell houses on Instagram. And so they just post the same pictures of the houses that are on their realty website with all the like dry details, like blah, 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 3 bathroom, 2 bedroom, 20,000 square feet, like whatever. And he was like, post less of the houses that you're selling and post more pictures of yourself, like having fun, doing what you do, because people, like you, just like you said, people want to get to know you, and people don't do business with companies so much or with logos or brands. People do business with people, right? And
Yeah.
so you want to make friends through social media, be social, right? It's called social media. And then he gave out like a super solid nugget where he was like, yo, so like when you go to someone's feed, you can see like the last 6 pictures they posted with like very minimal effort, like maybe 9 if you scroll down a little bit, but you can see at least 6. And he was like, so do yourself a favor. Every 5 pictures should be nothing to do with what your business is at all. It should be you, your story, what you like to do, like why you're not a total douche, like
Mhm.
pictures of people like hanging out with you and smiling, like, okay, he's not, terrible to be around. And then 1 out of every 6 pictures should be what you do for a living, what your business is, how you make money, how you can help people, etc. And then people will remember. They're like, oh yeah, I do need to buy a house. And then they're like, oh yeah, Zach is a realtor. He lives in my town, like, and he's cool. Like, I seen him, like, he plays pool, like he was at that Tech Nine concert, like whatever, like I can resonate with that guy, because people are like super creatures of habit. Like,
Yeah.
you would if you like Tech Nine and your realtor listens to Tech Nine, and then like there's another realtor and he listens to Garth Brooks, like, who do you think you're gonna buy a house from? You know what I mean? It's the guy that's more similar to you, right? So if you guys have Instagram and you're doing business, like, don't show so much of, show a little bit of your personality, maybe even more of your personality than you do of the main reason why you have an Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. Even I think building on top of that, like vlogs are a great way to do that, to connect with your community, because you're taking them exactly through your entire day, what you're doing, but you're also in it, like so people could see.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. I think it goes along with what I was saying earlier about like you can't fake that content,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing them with any type of frequency, like, like every day. Like, good luck with like being super fake if you're putting out videos every day. Like, that's gonna be hard. Um, or like I randomest stuff. Like, I post like I skateboard and I don't show that too much. Like, I need to show it more. But every time I show anything skateboard, like, I get a lot of engagement from people. They're like, "Oh, you skateboard? Like, well, I didn't know you skateboard." Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it's always like I take note of stuff. I'm like, here's this guy. He's like, I've been following you for 6 months or a year, and he's like, he didn't comment at all until he seen me skateboarding.
I feel the same way with so I mean, I'm a diehard Raider fan. A lot of people know that. But until I actually put that like content on my Instagram, it used to be just resale stuff. Then I started putting out like me at Raider games, me just wearing the gear. And then it's like I have a bunch of other followers who are also diehard Raider fans. So it's like we can connect on a different basis other than just like reselling, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's it's really cool. And it's also, there's like a lot of I think there's a lot of people that are like on the fence. Like, they maybe follow us and they don't really they're not really into it, but like they want to get into it. So they're, we're like their gateway drug or whatever. We're like slowly brainwashing them into believing it's real. Um, and you got to have some regular content for that, not like I'm a
Yeah.
weirdo. Like I almost consume zero entertainment. Like, but not everybody's like that. Like a lot of people, they got their shows they're gonna watch, they got their movies they're gonna watch, they got their music. So it's like I think about that all the time because I as much as I enjoy doing what I'm doing, like I want to reach people that don't know about reselling, that don't know like I want to reach like that dude that sells drugs and thinks like that's the only thing he can do. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, dude, like you can flip stuff, and maybe like I'll make a video and I'll have some rap music in it and like some random hashtag I used and he found me through that, or it's some skateboarder and he's like, yo, I first thing I saw of you were skateboarding. And then I found out you reselling. And then that's how I got into reselling. And like that hypes me up. You know what I mean?
That's actually I actually started doing that with college students. I think last year, and like including my friends who were selling their used textbooks. So what I would actually do is you can go into a college student Facebook group at the start of a semester and just find kids selling just books for $15, $20, just trying to get rid of them or even exchange. And these books are like 60, 70, $80. So I'm like, I put this in my story. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy these books from these kids on the Facebook groups, but I swear, every single one of you in this store, you better sell it on your own on Amazon. All you have to do is list it and ship it out. And I have like friends that who probably would have given up 5, 6 of their textbooks for like 120 bucks, who are selling them all for like 50, 60, 70 bucks a piece.
Yeah,
You know,
that's awesome, dude. And I bet you for like I don't know what the ratio is, but it's probably a disrespectfully low number, but I definitely at least one out of every 100 people and hopefully maybe one out of 50 or one out of 25 will actually flip more stuff in the future through their gateway drug that you got them into selling their stuff on Amazon.
yeah, even I mean, even if it's your own stuff, you know, if that gives you an extra like 30, 40, 50 bucks per item, like that could be a huge difference, you know?
Yeah, no, it's insane. Everybody has, everybody in America has $100 worth of crap they could sell in their house, if not 500 to 5,000. And I was just talking, because I've recently just been trying to think about new strategies for vlogs and stuff. Like, how can I make an enjoyable, entertaining, family-friendly vlog that's also like educational along the lines of what we're doing? And I was like, I had an idea for a Disney because I go to Disneyland a lot. And I was like, okay, next time I go to Disneyland, I'm going to film a regular vlog, but it's going to have like inside of it a little Easter egg of education. It's going to be like how to make enough money to afford an annual pass at Disneyland. Because not everyone wants to like flip full time, you know what I mean? But like everyone could use a little extra cash. And I know myself as a kid, I would have loved to be able to go to Disneyland a lot more, and people would like to be able to take their family. So, how is that if I could get someone's attention like through that way? Like, look, if you do this, this, and this, you can make $500 a month and an annual Disney pass, at least if you live in California, on the payment plan is only this much, or whatever. And then people do that. And then, maybe one out of every 50 of those people actually like end up quitting their job and pursuing reselling. And then maybe one out of every 50 of those people, starts writing books or doing YouTube or a podcast or whatever, it's like, that's what I really like about reselling is that you could make a little bit of extra money. You could make a lot of money. You can make a huge like empire that like exists in different states and has 20 employees. You could do wholesale, you could do private label, but what is really interesting to me is what you could do with that money afterwards. Like you could do anything. You could free yourself from your time and then make YouTube videos about how to like braid hair or something and then get really famous on YouTube and then open up a series of salons that are like jump off of your YouTube channel, like reselling can take you places,
Yeah, a lot of
first and
people don't like.
foremost out of your 9 to 5 slavery and owning your own time, but that's not where it will end. You could do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like you don't have to make it a full-time thing. I mean, I know a ton of people follow me, like friends and whatever. I've had friends who just resell, who are in college, who need to get their degree to do what they want to do with their life. But instead of working a job for $10 an hour, 30, 40 hours a week, you flip a couple things, you buy a couple things from a garage sale on Saturday, work 10 hours a month and make the same amount. And then now you have more time to focus on your education or whatever else, maybe more time for fun stuff. Just like it could be anything. You don't have to make resell like your business, you know? Actually, I had a friend who, this was a couple years back from high school, who followed me on Instagram. He started just flipping stuff here and there just so he could buy himself, like he was super into photography. He really just did it so he could buy himself a brand new camera setup. That's it. And then after that, he just focused on photography, you know?
Nice. Yeah, that's huge, right? Because I think that's like what a lot of people might think in the beginning, you know, like what do you want? What do you need? Okay, like let's make it happen and then like make whatever else happen once you have the tools to like make it happen.
Mhm.
Um Jacob Schultz is in the chat and he wants me to ask you when your used printer course is coming out.
My used printer course. I've sold one used printer in my life, and I think it got returned. It's it is the biggest pain in the butt to deal with. Like it's just it actually got to the point where the last couple of used or last couple of printers I sent in new that got returned that were used, I just ended up giving away to like friends who needed them, just so I didn't have to deal with it.
Oh man.
Like
Yeah,
it's
was that an accident? Were you trying to sell a new printer and you accidentally sold a used one or what?
yeah, no, like I've sold a couple printers as new. Occasionally they get returned, used obviously.
Right.
And that's just part of it. Like it doesn't happen too often, but I mean, obviously with Amazon returns, shit happens. So
Right.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
why a lot of Amazon sellers, I tell you, I'm like, guys, don't neglect your eBay. You're gonna need that thing. You're gonna need that thing. What else are you gonna do with all your returns?
yeah, I could have put it on eBay, but just thinking about taking a used printer that has no box and trying to package it myself is just
That's a headache.
it's too much for me. Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
not deal with it.
Forget it and just buy some more high 8 tapes.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that post you had? You had like 50 of them or something. Was that like a bunch of orders that came in at once? Or was that one large purchase?
So there might have been. You talking about this one?
Yeah, dude, you're quick on the draw.
So this one is actually it's a different brand. Pretty much the same thing though, but this was an eBay lot. So occasionally you come across people who have a ton of these. Usually they're or best offer, so I can get these for a lot cheaper. I believe I probably paid like $300 for 40 packs of them or something ridiculous.
Wow.
Actually, on the high eight tapes, the first time I ever bought a lot of those was I have a post about this. If you scroll back to about this time last year, I bought. I think I spent like $1,000 and got a lot of however many 4 packs at like 20, $25 a piece. And
Wow. And you sold them all for like 70, $80.
at this time last year at this time they were around like 60, $65, but still like I'm doubling my money almost, and they're selling quick. Like
Yeah, what was the rank? It's like 200 in camera or like 16
right
or
now it's
something?
right now
It's what?
6.
6.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it
It's
like
insane. It's like I tell people, a lot of people, because obviously I come from the world of books, and so a lot of people when they come like into my sphere, they're selling books or whatever. And when you start with books, it kind of skews your perceptions on a couple things. One, on like ROI, right? You get used to these like 1,000% ROI, and you don't
yeah,
really consider so much like the dollar ROI per sale, which I think is much more important than the percentage,
mhm.
especially when your time comes into play. But also, kind of forgot where I was going with that. What were we just saying right before that?
Well, so on these items, I'm paying like I
Oh,
would I
I
would pay up
remember what I was saying. I was talking about the rank. So like the number 6 in camera, like that probably sells, a lot of units a day. The number 6 best-selling book probably doesn't sell that many units, you know what I mean? Like books are high beta, they don't sell as many units. So it's like, how many units do you think the number 1 best-selling book sells a day? 100, 500? I don't know. I think 500 is probably pushing it. But how many units do you think like the number 1 lip gloss sells a day or the number 1 toothpaste? Like thousands.
mhm. Something like
So,
this. Rank number 6 is probably a sub rank 2, and like it's probably like camera something and then blank media. So, I mean, when I've had the buy box on this, I would feel comfortable selling like 3 or 4 a day. But at the same time, it's not like I'm buying 200 units, like 200 4 packs of it. I go
right.
on eBay. Like I go on eBay. Actually, I went on eBay 2 days ago. I probably bought like 4 packs. I mean, we showed you at the beginning of this video that I could have bought like 2 or 3 or 4 more. So it's not like you can buy 100 of them, but I'm definitely comfortable buying as many as I can of this.
Right. I think it was that post that you just showed too that like you were telling everyone, you were sharing the product and you were like, "By the way, don't bother going to look for it right now cuz I just bought all of them."
100%, yeah. Something like the Sony i8 tapes, one of these. If I mean, I don't check it every single day, but maybe like 1 or 2 times a week. If I check it, I'm buying as many as I possibly can.
Yeah, right, because the time invested is the time checking it, so you might as well get the best return as possible.
And I mean, I have a ton of other blank media stuff in my spreadsheet that I can just literally copy, paste, and just scroll through and buy as many as possible. It's really that simple.
Do you ever consider having a virtual assistant to help you get those ready so that you can just evaluate them or maybe even have them buy them for you?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about have well, I had back in San Diego, I had a friend occasionally that would help me just package them. It doesn't take me a whole lot of time to buy stuff like that, but I mean, I do see the value in it, but I see where it could go wrong too. If there's like something wrong with the product, they don't check the listing.
Right.
Um, and occasionally, there was like a period of like 2 3 months for whatever reason, this product dropped to like $49,
Probably
which
because you posted it on Instagram.
I as a matter of fact, that's probably why, because there's a few other products. There's a voice recorder that I used to buy on Amazon or on eBay for like 15 to 25 bucks. This was one of my best ROI items. It was like 65, 70 bucks on Amazon. And now I just sold, I mean, I'm selling out my inventory because it's dropped down to like $35 now.
Right. A lot of people just don't have the stomach to hold out for their prices or you
Mhm.
know, some people like I had a question today and someone was like, "Okay," because I posted like an inventory lab screenshot of a shipment of 111 pairs of shoes I was sending out and they're like, "When do you expect to get that money back? Like 1 to 2 months or like faster?" And I was like, "Honestly, like 3 to 6 months." Like
Yeah.
some of them definitely won't sell within 6 months, and that's when I start really cutting the prices and, like, gunning for the buy box more because I would wanna I wanna recoup my money even at a small loss, which usually I get it for cost or so, but even at a small loss, just to get the money back to re-roll the dice on a better pair of shoes that will sell
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 times during a 6-month period. But a lot of people can't hold out for that, which is why you see like when the Nike friends and family sale comes out, then all the prices just tank for like 3 months, 4 months. But if you can hold your inventory, for 4 months, the prices are super high. Like I have some stuff that I bought for Christmas that I didn't end up selling, like some board games from Target. And Target had crazy board game clearance before Christmas and I bought a bunch and I didn't really pay attention to my prices so much and it didn't sell. But I'm super thankful that it didn't sell because I'm actually selling it for like $20 a unit more than the best case scenario was when I purchased it because everybody sold out already.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like there's new sellers who are definitely like more in panic mode if something doesn't sell instantly. Oh, I actually one of the second thing I ever flipped on Amazon, I bought this Candyland game for $5, and it was like it's like a castle like special vintage thing, brand new. Listing price was like 135, and I was just thinking that there was no way that this was gonna sell, right? As a new person, plus when you're at the starting point, you would much rather have a quicker sale than wait it out, you know.
Right.
I ended up listing it at like $95. It sold at $95. But I mean, if I were to list it at $95 and it's like a slower seller item or slower selling item, and then other sellers come on the listing, they might just price match me, and then it just kills the whole listing.
Oh, right. Especially if people have, their repricer set. So repricing is like it's like an art form slash science, and a lot of people don't understand it. They just think that, I've even seen people who are considered teachers in the reselling industry that teach people to set their repricer to undercut by a penny, or they tell people to reprice a penny less than the lowest buy box offer. And that's the worst thing you can ever do, because if me and you are doing that and we're on the same offer, and even if we only do it 10 times a day or whatever, but some people have reactive repricers, which they don't go on a schedule, they do every time the price drops. So imagine me and Zach, we're both selling this voice recorder, and we have reactive repricers, which means every time it detects that the price lowers, it's going to lower our price again by a penny and another penny. It could theoretically lower it like 60 cents a minute, like
Yeah,
or maybe let's just say it's once every minute it checks the price. So like 60 cents every hour, the price is going down 60 cents, including 24-hour period where the whole market's asleep for like 10 hours. And then the next day and the next day, that's like, what is that? Like $12 a day, like more than $12 a day.
yeah, that
That's
kills everything. And I see so many products where that happens, where somebody will just undercut my price for a penny, and then everything just goes out of control. And then before you know it, this product that I bought for $20 on eBay that I think I could sell for like 50, 60 is already at like 30.
Sometimes it becomes so bad that it's a buying opportunity, right? You buy them out, and then when it comes, like, you're, for one, controlling the price so you can sell yours for higher again, but for two, you're acquiring stock to sell for more.
Yeah, if they're yeah, you could just wait till they sell out because on all mine at least I put you can put like a minimum price
Right.
at a certain price. If I'm intending to sell my product for 60, I could stop all repricing at $50 once it
Right.
gets.
So the best the worst thing you want, I mean, not the worst, but like better than that is matching the price instead of undercutting it. But if you're matching the price and the other person is undercutting by a penny, it's the same thing. It's just only happening half as fast, right? Every time you match them, a minute goes by, then they undercut by a penny, then another minute goes by and you match them, et cetera, et cetera. So what you can do, at least in an automated standpoint, to try and combat that is to have more filters, to be like, okay, well, match the price but add 5 cents to it. And then you're the second lowest price, but your price is high enough to where they can't detect that you're right above them. You're not the same price, you're 5 cents up. Or only reprice my offer if there's 3 people or 5 people or 7 people that are lower than my price. And of course, this varies depending on what category you're in, like what kind of sales volume the category has or whatever. But um, you got to be careful, right? I've seen some horror stories with repricers. So
Yeah, it
definitely.
completely kind of depends on the product. I mean, if there's not a lot of sellers on the listing, it's usually not a big deal. Like, I mean, just like last year, I was selling a shit ton of different kind of brands of voice recorders,
Right.
and these products are not like selling 5 to 10 a day. They might be selling like 3 or 4 a week, but I'm only buying like 2 or 3 at a time. So, I mean, on these products, there's maybe like 5 to 10 sellers at most. So I mean, you could just wait till the low people sell out, and then you'll be chilling.
Yeah, don't be scared to hold on to your inventory. The only time, I mean, the fees are generally pretty low on most stuff. Obviously, if you send in like a laser printer, your monthly storage fees might be pretty high on that. But aside from items that have a higher monthly storage fee, it's pretty chill. And you should only worry about it when you're looking at getting charged a 6-month storage fee. And in that case, obviously, you should try to see that ahead of time, which right now it's February 12th. And I believe the storage fee is coming in like 3 days on the 15th. So
Sick.
something that I have to do tomorrow, and all of you guys that are watching this on YouTube should probably do tomorrow or the next day at the latest. Don't push it too hard because you could miss it. Get your inventory cleared out. If you don't see it selling um, at a price in the future that warrants paying, it's basically like increasing your cost of goods, right? So if it's not worth it, cut your loss, and the other thing is that that's going to be a business loss for you. So that's going to like detract from your it's not like a total loss. Whatever you paid for that item plus the disposal fee will offset your profit for taxes. So like I wouldn't call it a win, but like it's not a total loss, If you hang on to it and hopefully like maybe it'll sell in a year, but by then you got charged, how much, So stay on top of that, guys.
That's actually a good reminder. I was not aware of that.
Yeah. It's I believe it's February 15th. I could be wrong, but I believe it's February 15th. We got a question here from Audit Vlogs. Looks like it's about books, so I'll probably answer it. But they said, I just started selling books on Amazon last week, but I see how important Amazon merch is. Should I stick to books or try to do both? I think you should do both because merch is only going to get more and more saturated in the future, but it's also going to get better and better. Like I think they're rolling out phone cases and some other products. They recently just added long sleeve sweaters, hooded sweaters, or long sleeve shirts, hooded sweatshirts, and crew neck sweaters. I don't think Amazon's going to slow down. So I think merch by Amazon is a really huge opportunity. And I think you should try both of them. You might, like one more than the other. Maybe you don't have a lot of time to go out sourcing. And so the shirt one is good for you, or maybe you're a designer, or it just depends. I also think that you could do merch by Amazon in an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 2 hours every other day. Should definitely both check, why not do both, right? Unless one is like, unless you have much more opportunity with one than the other, or you're more skilled at one than the other. Like if you don't know, do both. If you should only do one, I feel like you would know internally, like you would just know. Um, yeah, doesn't look like we got too many questions. So what are your plans for the future, Zach?
In the future, so actually, an I do have an order of merch coming in, so that's going to be my. I want it to be my main focus. Trying to actually right now, I just have a bunch of T-shirts with the logo on it. I want to build it into a brand. That's my
Nice.
main goal. I have so last
So
July I
can
went.
I buy one right now?
Not right now. I should have them. I
Why
just
you
filled
gotta?
out
You're doing me a
custom.
disservice, dude.
I know. I just filled out customs clearance forms. Hopefully by sometime next week.
Oh, you ordered your apparel from
Yeah, yeah,
China.
apparel. Yeah, yeah. So shirts and women's tanks for now. I'm working on like hoodies right now. It's Chinese New Year, so can't really do anything. But
Right.
last year I worked with a guy in the Detroit Lions, runs a football camp called Beyond the Basics. Brandon Copeland. We helped him out. His camp, it's a football camp, but what I liked about him and his ideals was that he was trying to push these kids to find their passions like outside of football. Since I mean, the odds of like making it to the league are extremely low, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to work with him. We're going back to Philadelphia next year or this year in July to help him out with the camp again. We're probably like my goal, like short term goal, is to sponsor that whole camp for him.
Man,
As
that's
far
awesome.
far as merch goes. There's a bunch of other sponsors though, like that are involved. But that would be like my short term goal. Long term goal, I actually want to build like a legitimate brand that will last around like forever.
What's your connection with Philly?
Philly. One of my friends is from Philly, but well, it's actually so he has family in Philadelphia. The camp was actually in Maryland, which is like I believe 2 hours away. So the camp's in Maryland, Baltimore, which is Brandon Copeland, the guy who runs the camp. That's his hometown.
Nice. See what happened there, though, guys, right? I want to buy a shirt from Zach, and I want to wear it. I don't know if it's going to make any people buy it or whatever when they see it. I'll definitely give them a shout out after I buy the shirt, but it's like I wouldn't want to buy the shirt if I didn't know who Zach was and if I didn't think he was a cool dude. Like, and I feel like the world is going towards that much more. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to wear like whatever branded shirt I could get. And I don't know if that's how kids are still nowadays. I feel like it's different. Like, because like right now, like I like the shirt I'm wearing right now, like my friend made this shirt. Like I feel like I only want to wear shirts made by people I know. Um like I can't even imagine how much like it doesn't even seem real to me that I would like a brand so much to wear their shirt. It just doesn't. Like I'll buy a Gary V shirt and I'll wear that, and I have a couple. But aside from that, you know, and I have a K-Swiss one, but only because it's with Gary V or whatever, but it's weird. It's a whole different type of marketing that we're into now, you know, than how it used to be, you know?
Yeah, that's really one of like the main reasons that I put out content and try to help people reply to DMs for hours is really to like to build a community, but also people like respect me. And then it's just like I don't know, it's just like I would personally rather be more like introverted and just kind of do my own thing. But I feel like putting out content will help if I do decide or when I do decide to create this brand.
Right. Definitely. Even your ice cream thing, I was about to buy your own ice cream brand.
Dude, in the future, I think as like a fun project in the future, I'm definitely gonna have my own ice cream shop one day.
I think that whole idea, which I think you said you abandoned that YouTube channel, right? Or whatever it was
Yeah,
going to be.
I did like 2 videos, but it's just I just don't want to like put in half the effort into anything. I would rather
Right.
uh,
You don't have a lot of time for that.
I'd rather focus on like being really good at 2 things rather than trying to be like average at like 10 things.
Right. I just think it's amazing nowadays you could do anything would work. Like when I saw you say you were doing that, I was like this is going to work, guaranteed. If he does it, it will work. I mean, you have to really do it, right? You don't have to just like
Yeah.
kind of do it, which is explains why you said you didn't follow through with it or whatever. But I was like, wow, then you could come out with your own ice cream, you could open an ice cream store, and I was like, dude, that would be the sickest example for like how to succeed on YouTube or how to build a brand or like homie has a brand about eating ice cream. Like,
I
what's
mean,
more
people
sick than
have
that?
Instagram pages for their dogs nowadays. It's like it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my daughter, my 17-year-old daughter, she has a friend, and they made an Instagram for her cat, and this account has like 100,000 followers, and it's like it just started out as a joke, and it like started taking off, and it's just it's like pretending like it's not like she doesn't write it as if like from her perspective. She writes everything from the cat's perspective. So it's like it's as if the cat actually could talk and write and it's
It's crazy.
it's
It's crazy.
insane. But they're
Yeah.
just doing it for fun. And I'm like on my business side of it. We're like at a pizza party and I'm like, what do you mean you got 100,000 followers on your cat thing? And she's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you need to start selling cat collars or like cat toys or like at least selling ad shout outs to cat product companies, you know, like you got a business on your hand. Like these kids don't even know.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like social media, having a social media page is a business nowadays.
Right. And these kids, what's funny is like we were saying earlier, they're going to school and school's teaching them this and that. And the reality is what they already know, which is the social media in the apps. Like all of these kids are like straight professional social media users and they don't even know it. Like something that I don't even do still, and I know like the younger generation does this. I don't know if your generation is in this, but my daughter's generation, when they post stuff to Instagram, if it doesn't hit, they delete it. You know what I mean? Like, so if they'll just have like a limit. They'll be like, if it doesn't get 100 likes in the first 5 hours, I'm deleting it. And then what that does is when you see their feed, it's super solid. It's like you'll scroll the feed and you're like, dang, every image has like 800 likes. You know, it's because they delete the ones that don't get 800 likes, right?
Yeah,
And you know they could all just be like open a social media consultation business for you know any local business, you know, like just like knock knock knock, do you guys have Instagram, do you guys have Snapchat? No, okay, well I'm gonna run it for you now, you know.
as
And
a, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw my Instagram story from the other day, but I think it was Saturday night. I'm chilling at home. I was trying to go get froyo, right? There's a place right across the street from me that sells froyo. I checked their Instagram account. It was the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. So I ended up not going there. I went somewhere else. So I had a little thing on my Instagram story where I'm actually pretty serious about this. I want to go over there and just help them out because, I mean, I think one of your daughters can do. Your 7-year-old daughter definitely could do a better job at running their social media account than they are right now.
right, it's insane. It's like they don't understand it, right? Like it just boggles my mind, you know. Like now I'm not even talking about like being super creative or anything. I'm just talking about like just
Just
show the
basic.
damn product, you know what I mean? Like
There's actually, I don't know if people will be able to see this, but their their entire Instagram account, they sell froyo. Like literally they sell froyo and their entire Instagram account is like pieces of paper cut out in the shape of hearts with children's drawings on them.
so what those are like drawings from their customers or something?
I guess, yes. They're probably, I'm assuming, from their customers. They're, I mean,
Which is cool, and it
it
shows a
is
sense of
cool,
community, but
but
like show the ice cream.
they don't use any hashtags, they don't use location tags. Their pictures get 1 to 2 to 3 likes, some
That's
zero.
terrible.
And it's like,
Especially, you know, like considering you have a business, you get your own location hashtag.
yeah,
And
if you were
on
if it
top of
was
that, like it's too easy. You're like, okay, you want to sell your ice cream. Who sells the most ice cream in town? Okay, so tag your photos with their location. You know what I mean? Or like there's just so much
yeah,
stuff. You know, like you can use Instagram software to target your competitors based on the location. So you could like auto comment on people who posted at the ice cream place across the street and then be like, "Oh yeah, sweet." And then people will be like, "Wait, what do you mean something froyo commented?" And they click on it and then they go to your feed, and if it's not just paper hearts with crayon drawings, they
it's yeah.
might end up going to check out your ice cream.
They haven't had a post about froyo since like 2015.
That's crazy.
This is what they sell. January, January.
That goes back to like what we were talking about before about showing your face, right? Like
Yeah, it's like who runs this place? I want to know who runs this place. Actually, funny story about this. I went to Vegas last year. I went to this wings place. I've never been there before. The owner was actually in the store. Literally, he was just in the store talking to customers. And I thought this was the coolest restaurant in the world because this dude, the owner, was the coolest person in the world.
right.
And like anytime I go back to Vegas, I guarantee you this guy will have my business just because he was such a chill dude.
Yeah. No, it definitely, you know, speaks volumes. Like I was just in Hawaii and I went to what is the name of the I went to Matsumoto's Shave Ice on the North Shore, which is like the number one popular shave ice place. And the owner, so this guy was taking out the trash. I'm like, whatever. And then inside we like bought our stuff from the gift shop and my daughter buys this postcard with the owners on it. And I was like, dude, that guy taking the trash out was the owner. And I was like, dude, I thought that was super sick. And I was like, dude, that's how you gotta show your employees like what is like the worst job or the least liked job out of your employees. And like if you do that and you're the owner, you know, like you clean the bathroom at the business or whatever, like that just shows crazy work ethic. You know what I mean? Like they can never hate on you.
Uh,
Or I was in Philadelphia last year, ate at this this seafood restaurant, Jordan Johnson. And Jordan Johnson, the owner, he comes out and asks us how our food is, and we're like eating it. We're like, oh, it's good. And he's like, let me see that plate. And he like pulls it and he looks at it and he's like, that ain't right. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, that ain't how it's supposed to look. And I'm like, and he's like shaking his head and he's like, let me take that. And he like takes it to the back and goes and like gets a new plate, like brand new, like, and it comes out looking proper. And it was like, to me, it was okay. It was cool, but
uh,
like it wasn't up to his standards. You know what I mean? And like, I just thought that was cool that they like, that he took the pride in that to like not let anything subpar like come out, whether or not the custom, you know, you could have pulled the wool over my eyes. You know what I mean?
uh, that's
But he's
exactly
like,
how it was. I think it's called like Wings Empire or something in Vegas. Exactly how this dude was. Just trying to make
nice.
sure he came over and asked us how our food was. We were just talking about, I think there was like a basketball game on. We were talking about stuff. Coolest dude ever.
Yeah, it's always about connecting with your customers. It's not so much about um like selling the product. It's about helping the customer and like how you can help them, not
Mhm.
just how you can get their money or whatever. And that's what a lot of people, and that goes translates to like private label or whatever. Like how are you going to write like your private label page? Is it like has an extra handle, this that, like it's like no, like makes it easy for you to hold on to because the handle is thick, you know, like wording it
Actually,
in a way that creates value for the customer.
yeah, Jungle Scout has a thing where it's called Jump Send. You can, or I mean, there's other like automated email things that you could send out, but they talk about creating value for the customer after you make the sale. So you make the sale, it sends out an email with maybe like a free ebook or something. And
Right.
then after they get the product, it's like, well, is there anything wrong with it? Can we do anything? And then there might be like a follow-up email, third email that asks for like a review of the actual product.
Yeah, that's huge. I like the thing with the ebook too, because I know the way that some people do it is they're like, okay, you get a free ebook when you purchase, but the way you get it is by like there's a card that comes in the product and you have to go to the website and put your email in, like got your email now, and then we
Mhm.
send you the ebook and then you get to build an email list and then you could do business with your customers outside of Amazon, like through your own website or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Um,
one thing. I'm working on a new with one of my fitness friends. We're working on like a private label bundle, and the intent is that she's going to make a complete like ebook guide on how to use the product and different things that you can do with it. And then after the purchase, customers will also just get that with it, you know.
did you cut yourself with the credit card knife?
So I mean, I'm not trying to make a sale or anything, but these knives definitely work. They're definitely sharp.
Jesus. I
I was
just look over in his thumb and it's all bloody.
I was just playing. I don't know what. I honestly have no clue what I did. I flipped it open and it sliced my thumb. So uh,
They definitely sharp.
yeah, I'll put a link in my bio if anybody wants one. They're $5.99 a piece.
They're going to cost you like 2 stamps to mail. Couple questions here. Someone was asking, he was asking, why did you decide to order your apparel products rather than do print on demand? Was it for quality reasons? Sounds like
Yeah,
a lot of trouble to deal with all those SKUs.
yeah, 100% for. Well, I don't intend to sell that on Amazon. By the way, um, like I might in the future, like Nike does some products, but I'm gonna have my own website. But yeah, the main thing was quality. I've it's been a pain in the ass to be honest, but I've gotten through like 7 or 8 rounds of samples just to make sure everything was like on point. To print on demand, you don't have the ability to customize little things like I'm gonna have like a custom hang tag on every shirt.
Yep.
It's like a little Nike tag. I'm gonna have a bunch. I'm gonna have a on this order there. I have my custom poly mailers, but on the next one, because this one she shipped it out because well Chinese New Year's right here.
Right.
Um, but on the next order, it's gonna come in a custom bag too. I already got it.
Like a
I just
clear bag.
Yeah, it's gonna be like matte black on one side and clear on the other side, and it's gonna be like ziplocked, and it'll have my own branding on it. Things like that.
Sounds premium. It's
Yeah,
funny how the little things, like for me at least, I know that tags are the hugest thing. Like, if I wish I could put tags on some of my print on demand products because it just secures the branding so much. Like the littlest tag, just like the little like fold tag that goes over the bottom of the shirt, or like even like a whole like a rectangle tag, like how they have on like jerseys and stuff, or like or the standard tag or whatever. It's just like
yeah. I actually on one of the designs I have, it's gonna have like on the sleeve. There's like a little it's a little like tag. It's like a tag. I don't know how to describe it, but there's a logo on the tag that just makes it a little bit different and like special.
yeah, no, there's no worse feeling than like seeing a shirt. Like I don't know about you guys, but this really grinds my gears when you have like a shirt and you're like, oh yeah, sweet, it's a like I want to say Diamond. That was the first brand that came to my head. That they would never do this. They would totally fully have like all custom tags on everything. But let's say you had a shirt and you like the shirt, and then like you go and look in the collar. I don't know why I always do this, and then you see the tag and it's like Hanes. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just like, wait a minute. They just took a Hanes shirt. Like the
And
reality is they're all Hanes shirts, American Apparel shirts. They don't make the shirts, right? Like Diamond is not like have some machines that just like make shirts, you know what I mean? They buy other people's shirts, they print their logos on them, they sew, but they do a good job of the branding and everything. And so it's just like Supreme is not making t-shirts, you know what I mean? They're other t-shirts, and then they print their logos on them, but they put their tags, but it's just like, what does a tag cost? 3 cents. What does it cost to get it sewn in? 5 cents, 10 cents. Like it makes it feel like it's worth so much more.
yeah, just like I even have like little like on the inside, it's gonna be like a little stamped on tag with our logo. Just things like that are gonna make it a little bit.
Yeah, silk screen tag inside.
That's kind of like one of the reasons I don't. I do a little bit. Actually, I don't really do Amazon merch at all. I have like 4 designs on there. I've sold a couple shirts, but I feel like, other than my graphic design skills being awful, um, I feel like it's harder to build an actual brand on there
Right.
because making like a couple of catchy T-shirts. Actually, I have one. If you guys are familiar with like lifting weights in any way, it's a picture of a donkey, a number two, and grass. So it's ass to grass, right? And I just
Nice.
feel like it might be a catchy T-shirt that I make one sale on, and after that person buys it, they're probably not going to come back and buy more of my stuff.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I know some people are, building brands out and they have, but in order to do that, you really have to like narrow down what kind of shirts you're making. Whereas like all the shirts I'm making is basically anything that sells. If I
Yeah,
see it and it has a demand, then I'm going to try and sell shirts in that niche to make that demand, which is why, like so I just started selling on Etsy a couple months ago, and I just have one store in Etsy, and it's like a general store because I put all my t-shirts in there. And when it sells on a t-shirt, then I put it on a coffee mug and a long sleeve and a sweatshirt or whatever, maybe like a bag or a pillow or whatever the hell. But it's totally like a general store. So I'm definitely losing sales over like if I just put the funny shirts, or just the drinking shirts, or just the his and her couple shirts, into their own separate store. Like I could make more, like I don't even know what the word is, but people buying stuff that wasn't exactly what got them there, but then they saw something else they liked. Like you can increase that happening, but that's more work, right? So like I got to get the general store down first, and then if I have more time, then I'll like do the other one or whatever. But definitely, I see what you're saying about building a brand on the print on demand sites. Not impossible, but
yeah. That's kind
not
of
what I see people doing either.
even like with private label, like a lot of the stuff I do right now. I have a couple products that are doing like decent. It's just a bunch of random stuff. It's not like
Right,
I don't have one specific niche that
right.
it's completely actually like the last 4 products I bought are all just completely different.
No way to go together at all.
Yeah, so on my actually I opened up a new Amazon account, got a new bank account and everything set up. And on this one, I'm looking to build like focus on one niche and try to build a brand like around that. And then also I do want to make like Instagram accounts for these, stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely doable, much more so than I would say the print on demand. It's actually what I hear all of these successful private label sellers talking about is like, look, like you have this, like how can you leverage that, thing that you're selling into the next product that's like inside that niche, Um and then of course branding it out and then, with the stuff that people who if you're like just a reseller, um you don't really think about it too much, but like building a brand and then like wow, like you could get your product carried in retail stores and wow, like you could sell your brand for like $500,000 or something
Mhm.
like so not just selling stuff but building value in the actual brand, because I think I think that company Aukey, Aukey, they make like battery chargers and all kinds of electronic stuff. I think that was a private label brand that blew up.
Yeah, there's
Um,
definitely a few of them. I mean, there's one product I sell that I know the top listing. It's like in the beauty category. They have this product, but they also have like the only other products they have are like related.
right.
So it's definitely like definitely more of a brand. I feel like you're definitely will have more of like a customer more likely having a customer come back to buy other stuff from you rather than like when I'm just flipping stuff on eBay, like a customer that buys a Sony High 8 tape is probably not going to come back to me specifically and buy a toner cartridge.
Right. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, they're on Amazon to shop for like the lowest price or whatever the buy box is, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, so if you're building a brand, that really comes in hand is like how is the packaging? How does the item look? What are the inserts that you're providing with it? Like when you direct them to the website, how does the website look? Like all those things.
So
Those are
much more.
those are like the touch points cuz like otherwise you don't have a lot of touch points.
Yeah, it's so much more than just like the actual product. Like the private label products I have right now. I mean, they're technically generic. I've just
Right.
created these things to make sure to make it look like they're private labeled.
Right. So it's more like white labeling.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just all generic packaging. They come in the poly bags, slap a sticker on them, and send them off. Like
Right.
it's not like branded.
So, someone Ken Williams has a question. He wants to know what is the weirdest, oddest, or most eccentric niche you guys have sold in?
I don't sell a whole lot of weird stuff, to be honest.
You don't
Um,
sell any sex toys?
oh, okay.
That's the
Actually,
first thing that
I didn't
comes to my head. I don't
personally
know.
sell
I'm
this.
sorry for offending anybody.
I didn't personally sell this. I can't even remember where I think it was on OfferUp. I was looking on OfferUp and there was this it was some like vintage. I could be wrong on this. Someone correct me. I think it's Legardo Tacket. It was a condom holder. It looked like an egg. It looked like an egg and it had a face on it. I kid you not. I have no clue why this was worth so much money. I think I saw it on OfferUp and I told a friend to go like, "Hey, if you want to flip this, like go buy it and flip it." Um, and it was like I think it was like $100. Ended up selling for like 350 on eBay or whatever. But
Wow.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure the dude's name was Legardo Tacket or something.
That is
Legardo,
insane.
no, Legardo Tacket, and there's a bunch of like actually it's this thing right here. Like if this pops up, this is literally like what it is. It is described as a condom holder.
And
I
what
think
is it? Is it hand drawn or is that printed?
no, it's probably like painted. Yeah, I think it's hand painted, and it's literally like
It if you're
I
listening
don't
to
know,
this, it looks like an egg on a pedestal, but just like all one piece.
and it's like I'm assuming there's an opening on the bottom where
That is
you're
the weirdest thing ever.
it's intended to put condoms into.
You win the weird
Yeah,
contest. I can't even think of anything. Like I'm gonna say like a used doll or something. Like
yeah. No, that was probably the weirdest. Uh, I found it and I had a friend like I was like I wasn't in town or whatever, so I was like, yo, just I mean, if you want to pick this up,
what
this.
made you look that up? Because it was listed for
I honestly,
$100?
no, I
You're
honestly
like,
don't
what
even
is
know
this?
how I found it. I'm pretty sure it was on like either OfferUp or Craigslist. Just scrolling through random shit, and I was like, hold up.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. If you
Yeah,
guys don't know, also that's another huge arbitrage is buying stuff off of OfferUp or off of Let It Go or Facebook Marketplace and selling it on eBay or on Amazon. I know a lot of sellers that, for example, they drive 30, 40 minutes to work every day. And at night when they get off work, they set up deals for to buy stuff off of OfferUp and Let Go, or even while they're at work, and then they make the buy on their way home from work. So they're like strategically like they're double dipping on their driving time to work, which I think is really cool. A
I
lot of
was
people can like, if you have a job where you can screw around on the internet and buy stuff, like that's a major key. Like take advantage of that.
I was actually
Uh,
doing it for a
Go
while
ahead.
when I was in San Diego. My dad works like 45 minutes from his house. I was actually looking up stuff in the Bay Area. I was like, "Yo, go pick this up, send it to Amazon for me. I'll give you like double what you pay for it."
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
crazy. Like anywhere, like you can do business anywhere.
Yeah, it's insane. You could have like an account at FedEx where people can just drop stuff off and give them your number and they'll ship it to you.
Actually,
Posh Hanger says you seem much older than 22.
really, people say I look younger than 22, which I don't mind.
I'm assuming she's talking about your brain. But yeah, no, it's crazy. You're 22. I was like, is he really 22? I was like, it's Zach Rosa's 95, so he's probably born in 95.
Yeah. The crazy thing is like there's people like you mentioned earlier that are like 16, 17, 18 getting into this.
Yeah, like, dude, I really wish,
I would have started. I didn't start. I was flipping sneakers when I was. I think I started when I was 19, my second year of college. Yeah, so I
yeah,
was.
I barely started selling when I was the end of 15, like 15 years old, 16 years old. I started messing around on eBay because eBay was pushing commercials really hard. And my brother had a gateway computer. I don't know if you even know what that means, but and yeah, so we just started like selling everything we could sell or whatever. But if I knew what I know now, then, like YouTube didn't exist. There was no books written about how to do this. There was no gurus. There was no like, we used to go to library sales and we would just write it down and then call someone else who was at a computer and like tell them to look it up. You know what I mean? Like cell phones weren't even prevalent. The smartphone wasn't out, like it's
Yeah,
insane like what you had to do back in the day. You had to actually know stuff.
yeah.
Now
I
you
didn't,
can
I
just
didn't have
scan
any
stuff.
any resale experience until I was like 19. I was always in like involved in school shit. My first actual like way to make money outside of having a job was doing people's homework in high school.
Nice.
Like just because it was
Nice.
like a natural thing to me. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I used to sell candy at school. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people did that. Dude, those what were they? The caramel apple pops? Those things went hard,
Oh,
bro.
yeah, those are good.
Dude, those things still go hard, man. They're caking on that product. They haven't done nothing to it.
I know I haven't had that in years. I remember getting boxes at Costco.
Yeah, dude, those things will pull your teeth out, man.
Yeah.
Every niche is odd to someone. That's what someone said. Someone was also asking, we had another question. Someone said, you were talking about buying textbooks from college kids on Facebook. Do you have any other recommendations about ways to get books directly from students? So I actually have a bunch of different ways, some of which I've done, some I haven't done, but will definitely work. So one is get in touch with the professors at the colleges. They have lots of books and they want to get rid of them all the time. So it could be as simple as going to the college at nighttime and just slipping a note under all the doors, the professor offices, like that I buy books, like contact me or whatever. You can go and talk to them. Depending on what the school arrangement is with the library or whatever, you might even be able to get a banner hung up in the commons or whatever for a certain rate during the end of the semester. Maybe text 3214 to books, to engage someone in a text about buying their book or whatever. Or maybe you can put a bumper sticker on your car that says "I buy books." Text whatever to whatever, or 1-800 book buyer. Or you can put a wrap on your car, or you could just post on Craigslist. This works too. Just posting on Craigslist, repost every 7 days or whatever. I buy books, and just post it on Craigslist. You'll definitely get calls. Like Zach said, going into the Facebook groups for the college. Another one is make an Instagram like for your area and tag the location. Always use the college location. Like there's probably more than one location on Instagram for the college. Like try different ones and then use the hashtags that are being used on the college campus on their posts by going and looking through the location to see what hashtags people use. And then people will discover you through that. You could use Instagram ads like through the Facebook ads manager, and you could target people who are in that actual location on the campus. You could maybe you could utilize both those strategies, make a Snapchat filter. And this one's kind of like a long shot, but I think it would be cool because college kids use Snapchat. Make a Snapchat filter that goes around the college campus that says like at Cash for Books, Montreal or whatever city you're in. And then that's the Instagram for that, because you can't put like links or websites on Snapchat, and then they will see that, and then they will look for that Instagram or whatever, or that Snapchat, and then find you, and then boom, you're engaging with people about buying their books or whatever. But basically, you just got to get yourself in front of wherever their eyes are. Maybe you can put an ad. I've even heard people saying, so there'll be like a book donation box on campus or something. Like oftentimes you go to the bookstore and you want to sell them your book, and they're like, oh, we're not buying that book, because they don't sell online. They just sell to students. They don't want to buy the book. So they go, oh, we have a donation box over here for books we're not buying, which is like that person is caking. It's probably like Better World Books or something. But I've seen people actually like staple their advertisements to that box and like saying like, we'll pay you more, like hit us up. So another huge one is if there's like a parking lot like on like right off of campus near where a lot of students are, a lot of people have made a lot of money like getting a van and setting up like a book buyback business in the back of a van, like across the street from the college, like during the end of the semester. So lots of ways to do it. Just got to figure it out.
Some colleges also have, I know San Diego State does, they have a separate website that it's called like SD Texty or something, where you can actually like college students list their textbooks to buy.
Oh, nice. I did not know about that.
I don't know if other colleges do, but I know they for a fact do. I mean, you can even just go into OfferUp, and when you click on a book, click on that person's profile, because chances are they have other books too.
Right. Here's another little tip too. If you're looking, so Amazon has the it used to be its own app, but now it's in the buyer app, where you can the app can identify the covers of books. So you can actually like be on your laptop looking on Craigslist or OfferUp or whatever it is, and they didn't post the barcode or the ISBN, but the cover of the book is visible, and you can put your phone up to the screen and your phone will actually recognize what book it is just from pointing at it, and then bring you the results. And you can expedite your research that way by scanning the book covers right off of Craigslist. They're calling you a bleeder in the chat.
Dude, I'm bleeding out everywhere.
Zach's gonna get an infection.
I had no idea. Well, I'm gonna keep one of these in my wallet from now on. I'll tell you that.
Just in case.
Now that I know they work.
Feel like cutting yourself. Yeah, so what is some stuff you wish you could have told yourself like a long time ago, like when you first started reselling? What do you know now that you wish you could have told yourself?
Ooh. Um, Probably just try to move quicker and take. I mean, don't be so scared to take risks. I feel like there's been a lot of times where I've been like the analysis by paralysis thing, or
Yeah.
paralysis by analysis, where I've been like waiting on a couple months, um, just to like see if things will play out. But I would just jump into it. Honestly, just you're gonna learn so much more if you just do it on your own. I know a lot of people like they'll watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, they'll watch my vlogs, and they could be helpful, but I would honestly like recommend watch one and then go do it on your own. See what happens. Come back, maybe watch another one, and then just go try more shit out on your own.
Right. Yeah. Someone in the chat is breaking your balls. They said you wish you could have told yourself that knives were sharp.
This is also true, yes.
It's also true. Um, what about resources? Who are some of the I know we're talking about doing and not consuming, but who are some of the YouTubers that you follow, if you follow any, or podcasts or books that you recommend reading? I know you said you don't read so much, but
Books, I've literally read. I didn't even read the whole book. I've probably read like one book in the last 5 years, and it was like a half. It was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
that's a huge major key, bro. I tell everybody to read that book.
Yeah, that that will change your perspective on how to just I don't know, just how to like be around other people, I guess. Um, but that's literally like one of the only books I've even read partially since high school. Um,
I feel like everybody should read that book once a year.
yeah, at least
It's
yeah, at
not
least
it's not a long book. You can read it in a couple days.
yeah. Also, like I think I don't even know how I got into the Amazon thing itself. Um, but I remember discovering Resell Rabbit on YouTube
Oh, a long time ago.
long time ago. Yeah, and I saw him going to thrift stores, and it was funny because like the first time I saw it, I was like, this dude's probably full of crap. Like that just doesn't exist out there. You can't do this. So you watch a couple videos, and the funny thing is, I remember I probably watched like I spent like 2 or 3 weeks just watching his videos and never ever doing anything about it.
Put the knife down, Zach.
Yeah. It's a credit card now. But so just honestly, like I would just recommend watch a few things, but just try to experiment on your own. I feel like everybody just wants to. They think like their Amazon business is going to take off the first time they do it, and that's just not going to happen.
Right. You gotta I personally I think I pay attention the best when I'm losing money. So I like to like actually get in the trenches and figure it out. And it's weird because if you try something and then it works and like you're doing good, you're making money, I still don't think that means you learned it. You know what I mean? You could have just got lucky. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
that's
it's
how I
like,
found my first private label product. I mean, I thought like when I spotted it, I was like, I thought it was going to be a hot product. I thought I was relatively early. I was right. But then like I went wrong with the reorder. The next private label product we got was a complete flop. The private label product after that was like it was meh. The one after that one, like on my fourth one, the posture braces, that's like the one that I was finally like, okay, well now I got like a little bit more of the hang of it.
right. So generally, your goal is to grow this whole thing in order to so that you can focus on your brand that which you
Just
want
kind
to
of
do big things
yeah.
with.
Well, so I mean, I think I'll always be on Amazon. Like I said, I just opened that new account that I want to. That's going to be primarily. It's going to be private label, but it's going to be more focused around certain niches.
Nice.
I'm going to be working. Like I said, I have a friend in San Diego who has a large fitness following, so we're going to have a brand. Um, we already have it in mind. I have to. Well, I mean, with the holidays going on right now, it's kind of like pushed back a little bit. But as soon as that Chinese New Year is over, I'm going to start trying to order a sample of this bundle that we've been thinking of. We're going to pair it with an ebook and really actually try to build like a brand around it rather than just trying to create one hot product, you know?
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. It's gonna last longer. If you look at stuff like, oh, reselling is just like chasing stuff down and then like selling it. And if you don't keep chasing it down, like your sales are gonna drop as long as you're not then like, oh, private label or whatever. Like that's less of that because you're owning the product, like et cetera, et cetera. But owning your own brand is like the next level of that.
Yeah, that's my long-term goal for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So um what we like to do is I want to give you the opportunity to ask the audience a question. Anything that you want, you ask them, then they will you'll get some answers. It's not like Gary Vee, you're not going to get 1,000 answers. You'll get like 10 or 20 answers, and then you can get some insight from that, or get in the comments and engage with people. What is your question for the people?
All right, question for the people. I've been in Texas for 2 weeks. I've hit all the thrift shops. None of them have the products that I'm used to selling. So I'm assuming I should look out for different clothing brands or maybe even sneakers, probably. Or if I go to Marshall's, like what other stuff should I look for to flip on eBay? Because I just launched a brand new eBay account like 2 days ago.
Someone wanted to know what part of Texas. I know Paul Cantu is from Texas, I believe. So like
Fort Worth.
he seems to find some fire, bro. So much fire that people accuse him of planting stuff. But yeah. Someone said cowboy boots and hats.
I think I'll.
So if you guys are listening to this or you are watching this, please help me out and comment down below what are the main takeaways that you got from this show? What are the main things that you learned? What are like say the 3 things that you thought were the most insightful or that helped you that where if if you want to just summarize this for someone and just say, hey, these are the 3 things I learned. What are those things? Comment those down below and help out the fellow watchers. I would really appreciate that. We have a saying around here, Zach. Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
It says, if you ain't flipping.
Oh, you slipping.
Yeah, you definitely slipping. Thank you for being on the show tonight, Zach. I really appreciate having you. And I'll catch you on Instagram, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man.
See you later, bro. Thanks.